covering the entire Piedmont Triad and everywhere you are. This is WXII 12 News at 4:30.
Hey, break it up, let's go, let's go. Break it up now!
Tempers flare. Protesters and Trump supporters clash after the presumptive Republican nominee's rally in Greensboro. Plus, survivors of the Orlando massacre speak out and give grave details of what happened when the suspect started shooting. We'll hear from them. And an alligator dragged a young boy into water near a resort. What authorities are doing to find him? Good Wednesday morning. I'm Brianna Connor. Thanks for starting your day off with us. I'm here with Ryan Slocum. It's June 15th. How did we get to the middle of the month?
I don't know. 4th of July is going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
And even today, it's going to feel like the 4th of July.
It's pretty muggy out there.
Yeah, it really is. We've enjoyed some really dry air in place. Temperatures have been high, but it hasn't felt that bad just because we haven't had the humidity go along with it. Well, that has changed. Today is going to be hot and very humid. Better rain chances beginning today, and a weekend cool down is in the works. I think most, if not all of us, will look forward to once you see the numbers. And speaking of numbers, temperatures starting to slide upwards. We're only as cool as the lower 70s. Winston-Salem, Asheboro, Lexington, Greensboro. We were in the 50s and 60s this time yesterday. Dew points were also a lot lower, 40s and 50s. Again, the lower the number, the drier the air. And once you start to see these brighter greens popping up, that's humid air. It's been steadily moving northward since really yesterday, and now the high humidity is starting to move in. And it will get more humid as the day starts to progress over the area. We have a chance for a passing shower. We're just not going to see a lot of it early on. About noon, I think we'll start to see some showers and storms beginning to flare up as temperatures reach at least the lower 80s by that point, and then storms get a little more active toward the afternoon. Not a big severe weather day, but there is a marginal risk that we could see a few strong to severe storms. But I think just the old garden variety storms will be a pretty good bet. With the high humidity, we have to watch out for heavy downpours and frequent lightnings from the storms that do flare up today. Lower 80s, a few spots on the maps as we head into the lunch hour, then storms becoming more numerous later this afternoon and through the evening, and even later tonight. We could still see a few lingering showers, perhaps a thunderstorm. Another chance for storms that goes into Thursday and then again on Friday. So the pattern is once again changing. The weekend, though, does look better. We'll have more on that forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes.
New this morning, a water main break may cause traffic delays on both north and southbound Salish Creek Parkway at Robin Hood Road. Winston-Salem police say you won't be able to use this area to get around. Drivers, avoid this part of town if you can. Police say the city is working to have the water main break cleaned up by morning rush hour, but work could last into the evening.
Check the situation right here, flat. Check the situation. You know why? Don't you get help?
Both tempers and emotions escalated after Donald Trump's rally in Greensboro yesterday. Greensboro police and officers from other areas in North Carolina had to break up a few fights. Some people even got in officers' faces, exchanging heated words. In spite of it all, Greensboro Deputy Chief Brian Cheek says their plan for tight and effective security was successful. In total, police escorted 20 people out of the rally. 7 of those people were arrested for trespassing and disorderly conduct. Protesters had a designated area across the street from the Coliseum because they were not allowed to protest on Coliseum grounds. Most of the people arrested were protesters who tried to make their way toward the Coliseum's entrance. Donald Trump's speech last night may have sounded a bit familiar. The presumptive Republican nominee continued to push for an end to political correctness, continued to call the media dishonest, and continued calling Hillary Clinton crooked. Trump also lashed out against President Barack Obama and how he has handled the massacre in Orlando.
And he was more angry at me than he was at the shooter. The level of anger, that's the kind of anger he should have for the shooter and these killers that shouldn't be here.
In an hour-long speech, Trump also reminded supporters that bringing jobs back to America is one of the things at stake in this election. Governor Pat McCrory did not attend Trump's rally yesterday. He said a scheduling issue was to blame. Previously, McCrory did say his support in the presidential election would go to the top GOP nominee, no matter who it was. The governor confirmed his support for Trump last week. 2 Democratic politicians in the state released statements expressing their opinions on the presumptive Republican nominee. Excuse me. Representative Alma Adams applauded Hillary Clinton for her smart approach to Orlando. She said Donald Trump's, quote, unhinged rhetoric won't make anyone safer and will instead divide our country further. Former U.S. Secretary Kay Hagan said, quote, Donald Trump has neither the temperament nor the judgment to lead this nation. And Hillary Clinton is scheduled to come to North Carolina next week. Her event will be in Raleigh. Her campaign has not released any information about a time or venue just yet, but WXII 12 News will provide complete coverage of her visit. We are learning new information this morning as the FBI continues to investigate the massacre in Orlando. Federal authorities say they are considering filing charges against the shooter's ex-wife for not alerting law enforcement about what she knew. She said she tried to talk her ex-husband out of the attack. She also said she was with him when he bought bullets and a holster. People in the nightclub who survived the attack are sharing what they heard and felt that tragic night. Patients Carter and Angel Santiago say they ran for cover into bathroom stalls. Santiago was shot in his left foot and right knee. He said he had to drag himself out of the bathroom toward the bar to survive. Carter was also in the bathroom. Listen to what she says about the moment the shooter came in.
Blood is everywhere, and then there was a moment where he stopped shooting in the bathroom, and that's when everyone looked around, and that's when I first realized that my leg was shot.
Vigils continue throughout the nation for the 49 victims killed in the shooting. Doctors warn that number may rise. 6 people in critical condition are still recovering in the hospital. The Walt Disney Company says they are donating $1 million to help people affected by the shooting. They also committed to matching eligible donations from Disney employees dollar for dollar. That money will go to the One Orlando Fund established by the city's mayor. In a statement on the Disney website, the company says tragedy has left them heartbroken. The Carolina Panthers are warming up for another football season. Head coach Ron Rivera gives details on what he wants his players to improve on. And Bernie Sanders meets with Hillary Clinton, what the two talked about and where they are headed next on their campaign trails. You're watching WXII 12 News at 4:37 this Wednesday morning.
All right, 4:40 this morning, a live look at downtown Greensboro. Haze is kind of hanging in the air. The mugginess has really increased overnight as moisture from the south has moved in. On top of that, it's starting to get a little stormy down in South Carolina and parts of Georgia. You can see on Super Doppler 12 as we scan our skies. Very spotty in nature and mostly showers, but a little bit of lightning moving in to that kind of area where Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina intersects. Locally, we have some showers approaching the mountains and a shower over parts of Randolph County this morning, especially up near Liberty, Ramsor, and just east of Newmarket this morning along Highway 220. This isn't going to cause too much of an issue this morning. A few raindrops on the windshield as you head into work. It's going to be a steamy day. Heat index values will be high once again. We'll have more on that coming up in a bit.
Carolina Panthers are back on the field training for the upcoming football season. Their camp kicked off yesterday. The team warmed up and ran a number of plays to measure where they are and see how much improvement needs to be made. Panthers head coach Ron Rivera says he wants to make sure he is catching mistakes early on.
And to see the mistakes that were made on very basic things, it really disappoints me more than anything else. And I just wanted to make sure they all understood that, and I reminded them we play in 86 days.
Tomorrow is the last day of the Panthers mini camp. Still ahead this morning, presumptive Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton gives her opinion on Donald Trump and why he doesn't say how he'll get things done. Plus, some people asking why people need guns after tragedies happen, and others go out and buy them. Why people feel the need for more protection. You're watching WXII 12 News at 4:41 this Wednesday morning.
The Triad's #1 news, WXII 12 News, with Kimberly Van Scoy, Kenny Beck, meteorologist Brian Slocum, and breaking news and traffic with Brianna Connor.
4:44 early this morning. Conditions are warm and they are increasingly steamy. It's going to be a very humid day over the area. We're just getting a taste of that this morning. The more moisture in the air, the harder it is for the air to cool down, and that's why temperatures are so lofty compared to where they've been the last few days. Summerfield to Eden, Stoneville, you're in the mid to upper 60s, but from Archdale to Asheboro, temperatures are in the low to mid 70s. The farther south you go, the more humid the air is, but it's all creeping northward. Now, rain chances small to start, 20% through about noon, but storms will start to fire up later today as temperatures get into the upper 80s, but it's going to feel more like the mid 90s later this afternoon. We'll take you through the forecast day by day. When does this rain finally end and what's in store for the weekend? That's coming up.
Commitment 2016 News Now. Presumptive Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton isn't holding back, attacking Donald Trump and pointing out their differences. While in Pittsburgh, Clinton told her supporters yesterday that Trump's comments after the Orlando shooting were filled with bizarre rants, saying he was telling lies. She also talked about why she thinks Trump strays away from stating a concrete plan to lead the country.
But he feels compelled to tell them because he has to distract us from the fact he has nothing substantive to say for himself.
Clinton also said she's open to having a debate with him on the best way to keep America safe, saying, quote, "That is what the public deserves." Hillary Clinton is gaining ground against Donald Trump. A new NBC News survey monkey poll shows Clinton is leading Trump by 7 points. Hillary's numbers total to 49% versus Trump at 42%. According to this poll, Clinton's gains are coming from increases in support among moderates, men, and white voters. Bernie Sanders and Mrs. Clinton talked privately for almost an hour and a half last night. The meeting was to discuss creating Democratic unity as the primary season ends and the two look toward the general election. Sanders still hasn't endorsed Clinton yet, but he says he will do whatever it takes to defeat Donald Trump. Today, Sanders is traveling back home to Vermont. Clinton is heading to Hampton, Virginia to discuss national security with veterans. President Obama stopped by the annual congressional picnic at the White House yesterday. The picnic is a tradition that gives the president a chance to socialize with leaders from Democratic and Republican parties. The president talked about the Orlando massacre. He said his thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families. He also took time to reflect on the privilege that it is to serve as president.
Every single day is that this is an extraordinary privilege, our chance to serve the American people. Our chance to, in some very small way, shape history in ways that we hope are better. It's precious, and it's a privilege.
Tomorrow, the president will head to Florida to support victims of the shooting. More tragic news now out of Florida. Deputies are searching for a 2-year-old child. He was reportedly dragged into water by an alligator. This all happened near Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Deputies are using a helicopter and boats to try and find the toddler. While some people in the United States feel there's no reason for people to use guns, others say it's time to buy more. A gun shop owner in Iowa says he sold 3 guns within 1 hour of opening his store recently. Increases in gun sales also happened after the Sandy Hook shooting in 2012 and again after the San Bernardino workplace shooting. The firearms instructor says he agrees with people who decide to buy guns for protection after tragic events happen.
Take a look back in history. You know, there's a reason why we, the people, need to remain armed.
The gun instructor also said people buy guns to protect themselves or out of fear that they'll never have the chance to buy one again. In Rhode Island, a meeting between 2 elderly men in their 80s took a turn for the worse. It somehow led to a deadly shooting, killing both of them. Police say one of the men shot and killed the other. The motive for the killing is still not clear, but police believe it wasn't random. When witnesses gave a description of the man who started shooting, police went after him. Then when they finally caught up with the man, he opened fire. Police returned fire and killed that man. People in the community say they are shocked by the incident. In Mexico, a teachers' union revolted against their government. The union said in a statement that the revolution is the correct thing to do when a government is unjust. Federal prosecutors accuse union leaders of setting up an illegal financial network to fund protests and line their own pockets. Goodwill is hosting a hiring event today in Greensboro. There will be on-site interviews and several positions that need to be filled, including carpenters, electricians, truck drivers, and sewers. You can register for an interview before you go at triadgoodwill.org. Dress for success and bring your resume to the Myaden Career Center anytime today between 10 and 2. Tonight, the Burlington Police Department will hold a fourth meeting about violence in the community. The meetings are a chance for residents to learn from Chief Jeffrey Smith about the recent string of shootings in the area. There will also be breakout sessions so community members can brainstorm ways to cut down on gun violence and solve the current cases. If you would like to go, that meeting is tonight. It's scheduled to start at 6 at St. Mark's Church in Burlington. All right, time to talk weather this Wednesday morning. If you haven't walked outside just yet, be prepared.
Different.
That humidity is going to hit you in the face.
Like a punch in the face the next couple of days. Yeah, very moist air starting to move into the area. It's going to lead to later day storms as well. Let's take a look at how the forecast headlines are shaping up. Hot and more humid today. In fact, looking very humid by this afternoon. Already pretty muggy across much of the area. Better rain chances start to unfold for the second half of the day. Tomorrow, less of a rain chance. Friday, it's back, and a weekend cool down will be the ultimate goal. We'll start to see some better feeling air coming in. You can see there's a boundary stretched out over the area. This is slowly creeping to the north. To the south of it, we have very warm, steamy, humid, unstable air. To the north, the dry air that's been sitting over much of the area and is still affecting much of our northern counties. This sector here, the dome of that humid air is unstable and will start to fire off showers and thunderstorms as temperatures heat up today. This cold front will bring an end to it all that passes through sometime Thursday night into Friday, although rain chances will likely linger through much of Friday before tapering off by Saturday. Today's high, 88 degrees. We officially hit 89 at PTI Airport yesterday. It's going to feel hotter even though we're a degree cooler because of higher humidity. Rain chances are low at first, but step up to about 40% by the afternoon, and more so during the evening hours. Pilot Mountain, Yadkinville, Elkin, a high of 86 degrees, south winds at 5 to 10 with rain becoming likely during the afternoon and early evening. Ennis to McGrady, high near 80 with a 70% chance we'll see showers and storms firing up in the afternoon in many mountain counties and then starting to track to the east. The darker the green to the south, the more moist the air is, and those 70-degree dew points are creeping into High Rock Lake, Denton, the southern parts of Randolph County, 78 is the dew point in Wilmington. That is extremely high as very moist air starts to move in. Here's what it's going to feel like moving forward today. Now, steamy start, dew points are going to make it feel like we're in the 70s, and then by noon, it's going to feel close to 90 in Asheboro already, and upper 80s across many other counties. Check this out. Greensboro and Asheboro this afternoon, the high heat of the day, dew points and temperatures together will make it feel more like the mid to upper 90s this afternoon. So make sure the AC is working properly. If you need to ride out at least the hottest part of the day in an air-conditioned environment and yours isn't working properly, find a public place that's cool, a library, a mall, a movie theater. Certainly this kind of heat is somewhat unsafe. Chance for a shower lingering into about noontime, and that's when the stores start to flare up over the area. A stormy setup in the days ahead. We'll see temperatures in the lower 90s tomorrow.
If you're looking for help to get your baby to learn faster, you may want to try making them laugh. We'll tell you why. And at 5, looking at your phone for 9 hours a day may sound crazy, but according to a new study by researchers at Baylor University, that's how long college students are spending on their phones. We'll be right back.
All right, this morning, a live look at Asheboro. The farther south you are in our area, the more muggy it is. Randolph County, one of the muggiest so far. We've actually seen a couple of raindrops here and there this morning. Let's take a look at temperatures. They're a lot higher now just because of all the added moisture in the air. It's tough to cool this air. 66 in Burlington, but the rest of the triad in the low to mid 70s early on. I mentioned a little bit of rain tracking through. The air is unstable. The skies are mostly cloudy. They'll likely stay that way today. Our weather pattern is really changing as the early morning rain fades. Your yard forecast, a hot day. 88 is your high. So much to say. I have text going off my map here. More clouds, more humid, and a chance for storms a little later in the day. We'll get that fixed. I'll have much more on that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Well, if you don't know what you want to eat for lunch today or maybe dinner later tonight, it is National Lobster Day. It's the day Americans celebrate the crustacean and all the ways to eat it, from broiled and dipped in melted butter to soups, bisque, lobster rolls, and those delicious salads. Lobster is considered a luxurious delicacy all over the world. There is new evidence that laughter may help your baby learn. Researchers in France found a majority of infants who were made to laugh while being taught something new mastered the skill more quickly than babies who remained serious during the lesson. Experts think that chemicals are released in the brain while laughing, and they may impact learning. Well, check out some crazy moves right here. This is a 12-year-old boy from Gaza, and he's trying to twist himself into the Guinness Book of World Records. He wants to perform 33 hip rotations in 1 minute while his chest is planted to the floor. The record is 27. Check that out. Crazy video. He's been doing gymnastics since he was 2. He hopes his flexibility one day will take him to perform with other acrobats all around the world. A young girl in Ohio hopes dog kisses can help end cancer. She's using her beloved pup to raise money for Pelotonia, a nonprofit cancer research organization that raises money through a bike ride and other events. Mindy Dreyer has the story.
No, my rope.
There is no doubt Addie Garris loves absolutely everything about Marley.
My favorite thing about Riley is he'll lay on your feet when they're cold.
But right now, Addie is willing to share him.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Actually, she has it all planned out.
People will pay $1 so Marley could get kisses.
And does Marley give kisses back?
Yeah, if he wants to.
And guess what? I got to be Marley's very first customer. Come here, Marley. Come here. That was definitely worth $1. This is Addie's way of raising money for Pelotonia. She just wants to do her part.
I think it's good to help people because their families must be very worried about them and they want them to get better.
Addie's parents have biked in Pelotonia for 6 years now. Addie has become a virtual rider, and for good reason.
2 months after Addison was born, my mother passed away from cancer after an 8-year battle.
She may not remember her grandmother, but she knows how much she loved her and everything that she wanted to do for her. And to be able to see how it impacts others and to know that everything she does is helping others is just something that, is beyond words for, I think, us as parents.
And they're all in favor of this dog kissing idea.
Marley hasn't met a stranger, so we definitely don't think he'll mind giving out all those kisses.
There'll be plenty to go around.
You're watching WXII 12.